when you step here, we shall clap for you. Anyway, a very good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Cerinah Nalwoga, Kasirye, and I am the founder of Trillion Bookstore. As you can see, a very beautiful branded banner and table right there. And I'm going to share with you my e-commerce story. Okay, how do I start this? I want to use 10 minutes to make my presentation and 5 minutes maximum in case you have a question for me. But make sure you ask me questions that I can answer. Yes? Okay, so in 2018, I was invited by Arthur to one of the WordPress meetups in Kampala. That time I was a business developer in a cyber security company where I was doing marketing, business development, strategy, and all those things. And I used to do a lot of writing. Now I used to blog on Blogspot. No one has used Blogspot. Yes, I have some weaknesses. I used to use Blogspot. And so Arthur told me that you can come and speak in one of our WordPress meetups about agile project management. So that was the first time I joined WordPress and the first time I joined a WordPress meetup. Now when I was there, I got to know that I can actually switch from the Blogspot to a WordPress platform, and that is how I got to know about WordPress and all these beautiful features that you can use with WordPress. So I started writing. If you can Google Trillion Perspectives, that is the blog, the WordPress blog I used to run them. And then one day I start writing, and then one of the WordPress community members tells me that they are going to buy for me a domain. I had never heard about that. Okay, I had heard about it, but I had no inspiration of owning a domain. So I later on registered a website for the first time, and I started doing a lot of writing and content creation, and that is how I started building a brand online. So I shifted from business development into content writing and digital marketing and using all these WordPress features. Then another day, because I told you one day, so another day I joined a WordCamp. I think that was 2018 in Kampala. And while these guys were talking, they said so many things about e-commerce. And I was like, okay, so there is a possibility of someone sitting at home and running a shop online and then selling, so you don't have to run a physical shop. I started thinking around those lines of how do I build a shop while I am home and this shop is running. So I started learning about e-commerce, and that is online commerce, the online shops and everything. So you're going to forgive me because I'm going to mention Arthur a lot because I've known him for quite some time, and every time I have a technical issue I ask him. So I asked him, is there a way I can run an e-commerce shop that sells art and crafts in Uganda? And then that is how he told me, actually I can help you build one. Clap for him.
Okay.
You see how someone helps me make money? So he told me he could help me build one. Now what I had to do was to learn more about how to run that e-commerce store. Because him as a developer, all he knew was, I'm going to put you online. Whatever happens online, I don't want to know. But me, I'm going like most of you here. A client comes and says, I want a website, you're like, I can build you one. But how you sell, you don't want to know. It's the client to invest in all the things that they have to invest in order to make those sales. So my job was to learn how do I make these sales online. So I invested a lot in reading. I invested a lot in research so I can run this shop successfully. So welcome COVID-19, that is February, in Uganda it showed up in February 2020. And by that time I was marketing for one of the crafts villages in Kampala. And so they sent us home for all that time, and that time I wasn't being paid. Anyone has not been paid for 6 months? Teachers?
Only 6.
Only 6? Oh, okay, more than 6. Okay. So, I said, I need to start up something that I can be home and I can still make money. But again, I could not do this without people. Because honestly speaking, the only thing I can do on our website is maintain it and update it. How to implement all the other things, guys, I don't know it, but I know how to maintain it, how to do my SEO, how to do my writing and updating. But tell me, Manya put this thing, Oba put this plugin, those things I don't know. So I needed people to work with. And I gathered, I have these guys around. I have Fanny. Where's Fanny? Yes, she's right behind there. I had Fanny, I had Arthur, and some other guys. So I told these guys, you know what? My vision is to build an e-commerce store that sells art and crafts. So Fanny knew how to do social media marketing, and knew how to implement the website. I'm a strategist. So I knew how to strategize and go out there. Actually, that's what I know best, guys. So I mobilized those guys and I convinced them that this idea can work. And they believed in me. And for 2.5 years now, we have been running that shop. Clap for us. I'm forcing you to clap, sorry. So, some of the challenges we've met along the way. One thing that I needed to do was to find where and how to do those things. I am a fashion designer's child, so I knew how to make some of those designs, and that is how I started from home. But again, I needed variety. So I won't tell you that I can do everything, and that is how I mobilized over 67 artisans who make those products and can trust us to market and sell those products on their behalf. So we have a network of the team that is implementing the technicalities, and then we have a network of the designers or the artisans who bring those products for us to sell. Now I'm just discussing the business model here. Then I also needed to sell. So everything technical about search engine optimization, what plugin to use, Manya, what else? Okay, there is WooCommerce, we use Yoast, Tobara, okay, Yoast is one of the funders, so I'll mention Yoast. So we have those, what do you call them? Plugins? Yes, we have those plugins. And the truth is, the technical person implements them. I do the research on how to make them real work. Because I own this business, and if this business fails, it's not the IT person who is going to fail, but it is me as the business owner. So I have to be knowledgeable as much as the IT person. There are sometimes I ask him, okay, is there anything we can do to do this? And now it opens his mind to, actually there is something we can use to achieve this. Another challenge we have met along the way, payment gateways. Anyone has a challenge with payment gateways here in Uganda?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You people fight on the WordPress community group. Now you're not showing me hands. Payment gateways. Okay, now, one very good day, I have a client who is a French client that I'm supposed to sell products to. And they are using an international card to make payments on my website. I go to them and I tell them, okay, here is your product, but I want you to buy it online. I don't want you to give me cash. And guess what? While they are making the purchase, something pops up. The merchant is not collecting money right now. how would you feel? You are at the client's office. You have convinced them that they don't have to pay cash. They can make that transaction through your system. Then they tell you that merchant cannot collect international payments. Now that was a hassle. I went back, I called Arthur, you know what? Now the website is not. Meanwhile, it collects mobile money, very good. In Uganda, you make payments, mobile money, it is very good. But when it comes to international cards, even the Visa cards in Uganda, very good. But when it comes to international cards, there is that challenge. And to overcome that challenge, it took me a full month of communicating back and forth. The merchant does not have an office here, so you have to communicate internationally, so we have that challenge. If you're here and you're part of the WordPress community, have a solution for this, because I do believe you are so many, we are so many brilliant heads here, but we have that very huge challenge in Uganda. My other challenge that I'm going to talk to you about is you yourself. Look at yourself. Look at your neighbor. You're my biggest challenge right now. You know why? Every time I tell you, buy from the website, you tell me, now, is that the website going to collect my details of my card? They'll be chopping my money all the time. So we don't have trust between you and us. But we are here to tell you, you have seen me speak at the WordCamp 2023 in Entebbe. This is an international WordCamp. For Christ's sake, believe that we are an authentic platform you can buy from. Do you promise? Ladies and gentlemen, can I stop there? No? What do you want me to say? Okay, allow me stop there. And, before I stop, I know I've talked about the challenges. Someone might be asking, what good things have you gotten out? First of all, guys, we have made money through some few people who trust us to buy online. And the other thing is we have been recognized in different competitions. For example, I'm privileged to be a holder of the Best Woman Entrepreneur Award by Total Energies 2022. And the rest of the things that I can't share really. Yes, allow me stop here. And in case we have any questions, I can take the questions now.
Any questions? I think I'll give mine from here. So Cerinah, I was interacting with someone whom I was encouraging to pick up this e-commerce system in Uganda, with the likes of Jumia and the likes who are selling food. It has kind of picked up. Other platforms like CFO Award that tried a little bit, things were a little bit shaky. But this is what this particular merchant told me. They were dealing in gadgets and they told me, actually, you've talked about the payment gateways. The challenge they had was, a person will tell you cash on delivery, which I'm sure is one of the options everyone looks to because of the trust people have between the merchants and also their parties. But then you take the particular laptop and someone directs you, then along the way, they are already planned for you. Then the thugs take the 2 million laptop without, anything. But just because you received a phone call or someone told you they saw you on the website. As trillion stores, what have you done to mitigate any particular risks you face when it comes to transactions that cannot be really controlled within the WordPress ecosystem? If I'm a user, I've been here, at the end of the day I just get your phone call, I ask for a specific African bag, and you trust that I'm buying out of goodwill. By the time you send the delivery person, I pick them up. So in your e-commerce story, what have you done to solve some offline challenges? Thank you.
Actually, thank you very much for that question. As my belief has always been, e-commerce should be completed online. I don't have cash on delivery, unfortunately. I don't have. If you want to complete the transaction, it is cash first, then I will deliver. Because I am trying so much to create a trust between me and the buyer. And one of the things that we emphasize is communication. From the time the person places in an order, to how we are processing the order, to when it reaches the client. But apart from that, we don't accept, I'll deliver you, I'll pay when you deliver the products. You would rather come to the physical store and pick your products and then pay cash.
All right, then, thank you. There was a more in there. Buying a cash is really quick. I'm not going to ask.
But also, the other thing is we have tried so much to make transactions online. For example, I am one of the people, my business is not so huge, but at least I have a POS machine for transactions where people can swipe and pay. The other thing is I also have those merchant codes for where people can complete their payment through mobile money, because in Uganda people trust mobile money more than the cards. So I try to find a way of understanding a client at their level.
Okay, then you have another question from the lady here.
Thank you. I'm building on that. So when you look at our economy, most of the businesses are cash. They call it destination cash-based systems, whereby if I want to buy something quickly, it will be easier for me to get it by cash. If I'm taking a border or a taxi, I'll have to pay cash. And I think in the move to grow e-commerce, maybe how can we bridge that gap? Because sometimes these businesses force us to also stick to the cash policy, whereby I'll feel safer if I have cash on me, that if I went to say Trillion stores, I will, and I have cash, I will not feel the need to first deposit it, that kind of thing. So I'm just trying to understand from you how you can push for these businesses to actually get, such platforms, so that it is easier for us to actually say, I can confidently go on the website of Trillion, and when I make an order, I will be able to pay online instead of having an option of paying by cash.
Thank you. I do believe that this is not something that is going to happen right now, but it is a process. Building any business, it is a process. So you have to have business ethics, you have to implement so many things that your customer is going to trust you. For example, so many times I know people who don't want to buy from the website, and they're like, I would prefer cash. So I will tell you, it's okay, you will pay your cash. But you see, in Uganda, our cash actually sometimes means I will pay via mobile money. You get? In Uganda, most of us, when I say I will pay cash, first I don't want to get on your platform to go through that process. So when I say I will pay cash, I want to pay through mobile money. So I will not refuse you. But again, I have to educate you because I want you to advance from what you are using to a bigger platform or to a bigger method that is favorable both for me and for you. So there is that period of you educating the client, which must not be neglected. Because so many times we have these platforms, but we don't have an opportunity to teach a client how to use the platform. And that is why you see that most businesses will invest in adverts of how to buy on Jumia, how to do this. Because what they want is they don't want any excuse from a client that I don't know how to make this purchase. So it is going to be a process.
All right then.